Hey guys, hope you are having a fantastic week so far. This is another ASCC Tech Team video tutorial. Today we are going to cover how to create and format scripture slides. Now I know I've covered this before in a previous video, but today's video is going to serve as a revision because we're going to change how we are creating our scripture slides. So let's dive into this. The first reason why we need to create this revision is because I've noticed over the last few months that some graphic directors will create sermon slides in one way while others will create sermon slides in another way. So what we'd like to do is try to codify how we are creating our content so that it's a little bit more design coherent over the life of 6-9 months to up to a year, So let's do this. Let's make this video so that we can all learn how to create scripture slides this same way, so that every scripture slide that's created, doesn't matter who created it, they all look the same and they all look equally presentable. So as you can see on the screen, I have ProPresenter opened up, and I have this past Sunday's Service Runner open up. So this is September 1st. The first thing that we see in our call to worship scripture component is the scripture that we used for September 1st, which was Psalms 43, 3 through 5. Okay? So this is what you're going to see when you open up the Service Runner for that Sunday. You will see last Sunday's scripture. So we need to change that. We need to update that to reflect this Sunday's scripture. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the slide, the first slide that has text, that has a scripture, and we are going to click Edit. And we are going to, once we have the first slide open, we are going to select the text body. Don't select the title. We want to make sure that the scripture title stays intact for now. For right now, we are going to go ahead, click that, and we are going to hit delete, and we're going to blow it out. So it looks like that. Over here on my left-hand side, I can see the subsequent slide, which has verse 4. We're going to do the same thing, click the body text or the scripture itself, delete. Over here on the left-hand side, go to the last slide, which is verse 5. Click and delete. Okay, so we've deleted all of the scripture texts out of the slides. So we go back to our Service Runner and we see those edits reflected. Okay, so the only thing we should see at this point are the verse titles. Okay, so what we're going to do now is insert new text, new scripture. So let's say, for the sake of argument, this is September 8th. Okay, and our scripture for this service is Psalms 44, 1 through 4. So the first thing we're going to do is come over here, top left-hand corner. We're going to see an icon called Bible. We're going to click on Bible, and we are going to type in Psalms 44, 1 through 4, and we're going to hit Enter. And now we see Psalms 44, 1 through 4 reflected. This is great. And just let me make a mention here that you'll notice that each slide has one verse, and I've configured ProPresenter to do this purposely. Okay, this will just make sure that this process is as easy as it can be, so that we can get it done as quickly as possible. Okay, so we've got each slide has one verse. So the first slide has verse 1, slide 2 has verse 2, slide 3 has verse 3, as well as slide 4 has verse 4. And you can see over here that I selected the New International Version, NIV. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select the first slide, and I'm going to hit Command plus C at the same time. Actually, no, don't do that. Let's right-click, and we're going to hit this copy function. So I right-clicked. I've copied the first slide. Let's go back to our showrunner, hit the first slide. I'm going to edit. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go back to our scripture that we've looked up. We're going to select all. And I'm going to right-click and hit copy. I've copied every single one of those slides. Go back to our service runner, click on the last slide in our section here, our call to worship section, right click and hit paste. And you're going to see it's going to add these slides that I just looked up in the Bible feature. Okay, so now I have verse 44, verse 1, 44, verse 2, verse 3, and verse 4. So we're going to do two things at this point. We're going to take this scripture text, copy it into the actual slide itself, and we're going to enlarge the font. Okay, so let's come over here. We'll click on the verse 1. Click on, let's go right click and edit slide. Okay, now I'm going to click on the body text. I know it's kind of hard to see because we got white text on a white background, but I'm going to come over here to the right-hand side to see where it says font 60. We're going to double click that and we're going to change that to 75. So moving forward, all of our scripture text on our slides are going to be font size 75, as well as we need to make sure that it is font Avenir medium. So just to repeat one last time, our font, we want Avenir medium size 75. Okay, and once I've done that, I highlight the body text. I know it's kind of hard to see. Hold Command plus C for copy. And now I've copied it to my clipboard. I go back to my service runner, click on the very first slide up here, right click if it wants to obey my commands here, and it looks like it doesn't. There we go. Edit slide. Click on the slide and hold Command plus V as in Victor, and it will paste. Okay, now I've got my scripture body, verse 1 in this slide. So I want to go back and do the same process for the next two slides. So I go back to my verse 2 slide, or I should say I continue with my verse 2 slide, and I want to right click, edit slide, select the text body, come over here and make sure Avenir, medium, double click on the font size, change that to 75. Okay, I've done that. All right, now I hit Command plus C for copy. Then, actually, over here on the left, we don't have to go back to our service runner. I can click on the second slide, right click, hold the Command plus V as in Victor, and that will paste. All right, so this is going nicely. All right, back to our service runner. We've got two more slides to do. Okay, so I've got verse 3. So let's click on verse 3, right click, edit slide, select the text body, come over here, make sure it's Avenir, medium, double click to change this to 75. I've done that. All right, now hold Command plus C for copy. Then I select on my last scripture slide and hold Command plus V as in Victor to paste, and I'm good to go. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is we still have verse 4. So I only had, as you can see back here in my call to worship section, I only had 1, 2, 3 scripture slides. All right, I've got one more scripture slide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another scripture slide like this, and then we're going to copy and paste the last verse, which is verse 4, on that. So let's do that. Let's go to right here, select, right click, copy, right click again, paste. It should paste it right next to it, and it has. I don't need two slides with verse 3. I only need one. So I go to the copy that I just made, right click, edit, click, and we're going to delete this. Okay. All right. So back to our service runner. I select the scripture slide down here, generated by our Bible feature, and I go to verse 4, which is right here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yes, verse 4. So I go 1, 2, 3. There's 4. Highlight it, right click, edit slide, select the text body, make sure it's Avenir, medium, 75 sized font. All right, then I Command +C to copy. All right, go to my last scripture slide right here, click, hold Command V as in Victor to paste, and there I'm good to go. Now, there's one last thing that I need to do, and I need to make sure that all of these scripture slides reflect the correct scripture reference or scripture range. So I go back to the first slide, click on the title body, all right, and I want to change this to Psalms 44, 1 through 4. Hit enter. Oop, don't hit enter because it'll change that. So here we go. Psalms 44, 1 through 4. I need all of my scripture slides to reflect this scripture title. So I click on the actual title box, Command C for copy, go down to slide 2, select the previous title, delete, hold down Command V for paste, and I do the same thing for the last 2 scripture slides, right? Delete and Command V. So now I can come back here and I can see in my service runner that I've got Psalms 44, 1 through 4. I've got the right title, scripture title. I've got the right scripture text and the right font and the right size for all 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then so I've kind of taken my original slides here that I looked up through the Bible feature, and I can just go ahead and delete those, blow them out. I don't need them anymore. So it kind of cleans up my component here. So now I know I've got an intro slide for this section that has our logo at the bottom right. And if you guys want to like direct your eyes over here on the right-hand side, you can see what is actually being presented on the front of house projectors. So there we go. Verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, and then the blank outro slide. Okay? And that is how we create our scripture slides. So just to recap really quickly, you want to make sure that you can use the Bible feature up here, all right? And we've got the NIV translation ready for us. We want to make sure that our scripture text is Avenir, medium, sized 75, okay? The actual title text is the same. It's Avenir, heavy, sized 75, okay? So I hope this video helps. Please comment, send me an email or text or group me chat. Let me know if there's anything else, any other videos I need to make that will help you guys do what you do every Sunday. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you this coming Sunday.